Welcome to Inland Empire Alive, bringing you issues, events, and perspectives from throughout San Bernardino and Riverside counties. I'm David Brady, and on today's program, I'll welcome Chloe Diaz, Program Manager of Open Arms, a San Bernardino facility where teens and young adults can hang out and learn life skills in a relaxed, supportive environment. That's today on Inland Empire Alive. Joining me now is Chloe Diaz, Program Manager for a great facility in San Bernardino that offers some terrific resources for teens and young adults. Chloe, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Before we talk about Open Arms, the drop-in center, let's talk a little bit about the umbrella organization, the Family Assistance Program. Tell me about its mission and what it does.
Definitely. Family Assistance has been around for over 35 years now, and we celebrated that last year. So basically what we do, Family Assistance started with domestic violence and anti-human trafficking. So we have divisions all across anti-human trafficking, Hope House, which is domestic violence, and then we have our other programs, our youth shelters. We have two. We have one in Victorville and we have one in Mentone, and we're opening a new one in San Bernardino. And then we have our two drop-in centers, one in Victorville, and then we have Open Arms, which is in San Bernardino.
So talk to me about the facility here in San Bernardino, Open Arms.
So Open Arms, basically our mission is to aid the youth 14 through 24. We give them resources, housing, job stability. We will connect them with anything pretty much that they need, and if we don't have that resource, we'll refer them to somebody that does.
And is this facility, is it free? You just drop in means just walk in?
Yes, so the services are free from 14 through 24 year olds, and they're more than welcome to come out, get some food, resources, hygiene bags, anything that they need. They can hang out as long as they want. So basically we're open on Mondays from 9 to 5. On Tuesday through Friday, we're open from 9 to 8. And then on Saturdays, we're open from 12 to 8 p.m.
And do people have to register to use the services? I mean, clearly you're dealing with homeless teens and young adults, so they don't have an address to prove that they live in the city.
Yes, we don't go off of that. What we do is we create a profile with them. Whatever information that they give us, we create that profile and we go from there.
So on a typical afternoon at the facility, how many folks are usually there? Are we talking dozens or?
It usually just depends throughout the weeks. Right now we opened during COVID, when COVID just started, so our numbers are very low, but we've been able to reach people through street outreach and events. So our events are really popular, and the community gets to know about us through those events. Our numbers are increased through that.
You talked a little bit about some of the events and the activities, and so a lot of them are around life skills, you would say. What are some of the fun things you do? Because I noticed there are a lot of just sort of recreational, relaxation, just come and chill type of activities.
Yeah, so today specifically we have a paint and sip. So it's a mocktail, so we're not serving alcohol, obviously, because they're youth, but we like to educate them based off of you don't have to have alcohol to have fun. And also we'll bring in local artists to come teach them how to paint and do different designs to get them to have a creative flow rather than being out on the streets doing reckless things that are not going to help them progress in life.
Are there a particular goal as the program manager? What are your goals for the facility when you know that you're going to be serving a particular clientele? What are you hoping that they take from that facility? That
they see that people actually empathize with them rather than sympathize, because there's a difference. When you empathize with someone, you are reaching them where they're at. When you are sympathizing with them, you are seeing them from afar. You're not really sitting there and really divulging in what they're going through, because these youth come from all variations across when it comes to sex trafficking, homelessness, domestic violence. So we meet them where they're at and we offer them those supportive services when they're ready.
You may have already anticipated this question, but what are the typical needs that you see? What are the strongest needs you see from the people that come to the center?
Housing. Housing is a really big thing, especially for 11 through 24 year olds. It's very there's not enough housing in San Bernardino to house these youth. There's a lot of runaways, and the county doesn't talk about it, but we need more funding for these type of programs, because we would rather have the youth in housing than on the streets trying to survive, which leads to human trafficking.
In the time that you've been with the program, have those needs changed? Have you seen a shift in the availability of housing or resources in the community?
We're growing, so as Family Assistance is growing, we're obviously opening up the new shelter, so that's amazing, and I hope to see more programs opening shelters and not just Family Assistance. We do have like other programs like the Stay, where they, and these are through the county, and they have their programs for housing, but also there's a lot of parameters, and with Family Assistance, we like to meet the youth where they're at. And so that's the great thing about our program is, and since we're a nonprofit, we meet them where they're at, and we're trauma-informed care. So we go off of that rather than trying to implement structure to people that don't really understand structure and they don't really have that grasp of life yet.
I noticed that the facility is designated a safe space. Can you talk about what that means?
So when we say a safe space, we include all people, all backgrounds, all colors, all sexualities, because we believe in our mission that we have to help everyone. When we service, we're service providers. And what I like to teach my staff is you take your biases, anything that you were ever taught, you put it aside and you service the client that's in front of you, because they're not here for all of that. They're here to be serviced and help with resources. And that's our main job, and that's why you came to this center. I'm hoping that you came to help the youth more than your own beliefs, your biases, and stuff like that. So I like to lead my team in that way, and Family Assistance backs me with that. We all believe in that mission where we have inclusion with our staff as well. We have various staff members when it comes to gender identities. Me, myself, I'm an openly trans woman, so I like to express that because we don't have enough representation on platforms so they can see that we are not just what the media has shown that trans women are. We are more than that, and we can be proud to do anything we want in this world just as much as anybody else.
Is it important to you that the facilities reflect the community in that way? That whether it's the staff, whether it's the services, that the teens, the young adults that come to you, they see themselves in your services, in your staff?
Yeah, they have to. A lot of our staff usually have lived experiences, so they're able to empathize with the clients rather than sympathize. And we do have staff that are on the sympathy side where they sympathize, but then they learn while being in Family Assistance that we meet the client where they're at. And then you get to open your eyes that you may have never even seen a sex trafficking victim before, especially a youth, and how they act. And instead of looking at it from your own perspective, look at it from their perspective, because then you're able to really open your eyes and say, I need to help them in whatever way they're willing to receive that help.
Talk to me a little bit about the Family Assistance slogan. This really jumped out at me. If we can't help you, we will find someone who can. What does that mean to you?
It means everything. When I was working on Open Arms when it first opened, I was like, what's going to happen if we come across someone that we can't help? And I thought about it and I said, we need to find someone that can. So I make sure that I partner with every community provider within San Bernardino, and I sit on multiple boards across the county to make sure that I have those resources. And if I can't find it, I will.
So how can people help Family Assistance? Are there opportunities for donations? Are there places where people can volunteer? How can people get involved if, like you said, they weren't aware of the need, they weren't aware of these opportunities?
Definitely. So they can come and volunteer with us. We do street outreach actively 3 times a week. So that's where we go out in the streets and we identify youth that are in crises or may need prevention services, whether that's through hygiene bags. So they can help create the hygiene bags. We take donations for our hygiene bags, and we have a list on our website, and that's familyassist.org. And then it has all our programs. And then on the programs, they'll see Open Arms, and then they'll be able to see what donations we're accepting in that time, because the donations vary based off of the needs of the community. So that's what I like to do. I like to go out and see, what do you guys need? What is it that you guys are needing? Is it gift cards? Is it more money? Is it hygiene? And they tell us, and with that data, then we put it out in the community and say, this is what the youth want, this is what they are requesting. We should listen to them because we are providing services to the youth, and without their feedback, how are we going to listen to them without actually implementing what they're asking us to do?
If you don't mind me asking, how did you come to this work? It seems very personal to you.
So basically when I was 16 years old, the county approached me and they really just wanted to help me. I was dealing with homelessness throughout my life, drug addiction. I sold myself when I was younger, and I know how hard it is. And back then, there was no services, there was no shelters, there was nothing. So for me, I lived on the streets with my family and my mom, and it was very difficult. So when the county approached me, they asked me if I wanted to go to a homeless summit in Sacramento. And I didn't think anything of it. I just said, you know what, it gets me off the street this weekend, so I'm gonna do it. And from there, it really transformed my life. I got to go on the news and actually talk about a bill that was passing that it would put me in jail because I was forging a signature to go to school. And I explained to them, yes, I understand the parameters. Obviously, there's people that lie and do horrible things, but I just want to get through this. I don't want to be homeless and I don't want to be a statistic. I want to get out of here. I want to make something of myself, and I think it's unfair that you're going to throw me in jail for something that I'm trying to progress in my life. So I did take it very personal, and when I learned I had a voice, they started taking me every single year, and I started leading other youth.
You were just a kid when this happened.
I was 16 years old. I had no idea, I had no background in political speaking or just speaking in general to thousands of people, and especially our assembly members. Sitting in front of them, you think like, how can I get my point across? I took it as an opportunity of my life is a fact. This is real. This isn't an opinion. This isn't like something that you could throw away. This is something you have to listen to. So while you guys are deciding these bills and policies, I'm gonna go home. My home's the street. My home is under a tree or wherever I can find shelter at 16 years old. And at the time, I was in beauty school. I was in continuation to try to finish school. I was still doing things. I wasn't a low life. I wasn't what they considered homeless youth at the time. I was showing them that not all of us are in that realms, but also the people that are in that realms of substance abuse and addiction, they had no other choice. We should uplift them as well. It's not their fault that they're in those situations. I so happened to get myself out of it. I was given an opportunity and I took it, and here I am today as a state level advocate where I go to the Capitol and talk about bills and policies that pertain to youth.
So as program manager, and again, as someone who, can see yourself in the clientele, what do you enjoy the most about the work you do? What gives you the most satisfaction?
Seeing the light go off in their head. Really just, they never had someone that's sitting there and just listening to them. And they always have someone reacting to them. And I teach them to be an advocate for themselves, because that's something that they lack throughout their lives, is an adult figure that respects them as a person, regardless of their age. And I see them and I teach them to stand up for themselves in the right way, be respectful, but also share what you need to, because you're the expert in your life. You are the expert in your situation. Nobody else is. They can't tell you what's going on in your own life. So that's what I like to educate them on, and just seeing that light go off in their head and creating young little leaders of the future just makes me so happy.
Are there any changes that you would like to make? Any things that you can sort of see coming in the future? Anything you would like to do? What's your wish list?
Definitely. My main goal right now is to really increase the LGBT supportive services within the Victorville area. There is none. The closest LGBT services in Victorville is Barstow. That's ridiculous. So I took it upon myself to start LGBTQ supportive services in Victorville. So at our other drop-in center, I go there and I personally educate the youth, let them speak about certain situations that are going on, whether it pertains to transitioning or just helping their parents understanding everything. So I'll talk to the parents and just giving them that support. That's what they're asking for. So I just want that to happen in the Victorville area, because there's definitely my population there that need to be serviced, but for some reason there isn't a need. So just hopefully getting more supportive services there, and then just making sure that the youth know about these services. We have a youth advisory board where we pay youth $15 an hour every Thursday, and we will have them talk about policy. We'll have them meet with mayors, assembly members, anybody that's important, their principals, to help change the narrative of how the future is going, because their voice is important, especially if they're the ones that are dealing with the situations that are not really benefiting them.
Before I let you go, I should say the address of the facility. It's Open Arms, that's the name. It is 323 West 7th Street. Tell me again your website.
It's www.familyassist.org.
And then you're also on social media as well. What platforms can people find you as well?
Usually Facebook right now, so we're on Family Assist Program, Open Arms.
And then when you talked a little bit about the outreach, in the couple minutes we have left, what do you find is needed to kind of overcome the resistance of people wanting to go to a facility like yours? Do you find some people are like, I'm happy where I am, you know, I don't need help? What do you tell them to get them to kind of come in?
It really just depends. So I assess people based off of how they're perceived. So you could pretty much tell if they're going to be receptive to information just by talking to them. So how I approach them is, hi, do you have a moment where I can share some information with you? From that conversation, you'll be able to see, like, are they interested? Are they willing? If they're not, here's my card. Whenever you're ready, you can check out the website. You can come visit our location whenever you want, whenever you need services. You may know someone or meet someone that needs these services, so it's always important to have this information with you or just to have knowledge with you. And that's usually how we do it. And if there's any pushback, we just leave them alone. Whenever you're ready, we're here.
Do you think that word of mouth is critical, that you may not say yes today, but you think about it and you may talk about it, and someone else may have gone and said they're, you know, great people?
No, definitely. It's definitely word of mouth, because the youth have to feel safe at certain locations. So if they go to Open Arms and they share that with their friend, then their friend will come. And I've noticed that. Recently we had a girl come and she's like, I heard about you guys' program, but I just was unaware because I never been and I came by myself. And I was like, well, now you're here. Now you meet a staff member and you're willing to come, right? And she's like, yeah, it feels safe.
What is your hope that this facility becomes to people in the future? Do you want it to physically grow larger? Do you want to open more facilities? What is the future?
The future is definitely to grow more, because we need more in San Bernardino County. You know, we have a lot of these services replicated all over, but like I said, I like to collectively bring the community together. That's why it's important for us to either collaborate together, which I've been doing with other organizations that do similar work, to make sure that if you can't meet the needs of that youth, somebody else will. And then for our organization, we're always growing. We've been rapidly growing throughout the time frame that they've been open, and it's been amazing. And I'm excited to see where Family Assistance goes in the future. So
the name of the organization is Family Assistance Program. Tell me again the website.
It's www.familyassist.org.
And the San Bernardino facility, it's called Open Arms. It is a youth drop-in center, 323 West 7th Street. Tell me again the hours of operation.
So for Mondays, we're open 9 to 5. And then Tuesday through Friday, we're open 9 to 8 p.m. And then on Saturdays, we're open 12 to 8 p.m.
Talk to me a little bit, again, just before I let you go, what are some of the things can people do to just chill and relax? I know you have free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so we have free Wi-Fi. We have a computer lab where they can go on the computer and look up resources or get their resume ready for if they have a job.
What happens on Mondays? What's the special thing that happens on Mondays?
What do you mean?
You know, the Chloe's.
So on Mondays, I offer makeup groups for the community, 14 through 24. So I teach them through makeup that obviously you should love yourself, but definitely it helps them when they go to their jobs. It can give them a skill to get a job. So I teach them entrepreneurship through that. And then I believe last year we did a special effects makeup group, and over 30 people came to that, and it was amazing. None of them had any experience in makeup, and I kid you not, they look like dead zombies.
Wow. So not just a place to come and relax, but also a place to learn life skills, to find resources in the community, to find housing, to find people that will help. Like you said, if we can't help you, we will find someone who can. Chloe, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being on the program. And thank you so much for the work that you do in our community.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.